I don't mean to be rude, but aren't you a little old to start medical school? You know, Babe Ruth was 39 when he joined the Yankees. No, he wasn't. I know, but I could use an example like that. Patch Adams is full of crazy, funny quotes, quotes that make you think. It's an amazing movie. That's why it's my number one favorite movie of all time. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why and how you can apply it to your life. Life lesson number 1 is find your talents. At the very beginning of the movie, he actually checks himself into a mental hospital because he's lost his direction. He doesn't know why he's even living, and he's trying to find out why. And he has a roommate. His name is Rudy, and Rudy's always afraid of these squirrels that are going to attack him. These imaginary squirrels. And one night he like wakes up, but he's really nervous and he's like making a lot of noise. Patch Adams wakes up and he's like, what's going on, Rudy? He's like, I really need to go to the bathroom, but I can't. He's like, what? Squirrels? And he's like, Rudy, you got to get over your fear. And he just tries telling him to get over his fear. And Rudy pulls back even more and he's more afraid. And then Patch Adams, all of a sudden, he's like, he pulls out an imaginary gun, shoots it. And then Rudy's like, oh, there's another one. He's like, poof, poof, poof. And he starts shooting all these imaginary squirrels. And he flips over the bed, like gets out this huge bazooka. And Rudy and him fire it off and destroy all the squirrels. He's like, go, go, go. And Rudy goes to the bathroom. It's the first time that Rudy's gone to the bathroom on his own because he's always been afraid of these squirrels. And Patch Adams, he realizes that he has a gift with people. He just knows how to interact with different people. That different people need different things. That was one of his talents. Now, once he found his talent, then he came down here and he said, what's my purpose? What is my why? And he figures he has a sit down with this former professor, super famous professor. He's also in this clinic, and you don't know why exactly, but he always asks this question. He walks around the hospital and he says, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And people are like, 4. He's like, 4? You guys are insane. Everyone's insane here. 4 fingers. I'm not holding up. Oh my gosh. And he runs away. Well, Patch Adams sits down with him in his room one night and he says, what's the answer to the question? And the guy's like, oh, another smart kid that has to know all the right answers. Well, welcome to the real world. And just in that moment, like the professor, he's cold, and it doesn't want to talk to Patch Adams. And all of a sudden, Patch Adams sees this cup, his cup, the professor's cup, and it's leaking. And he gets some tape that's underneath the desk, and he patches up, or it's like a piece of gum or something. And he patches it up, and the professor looks over at it, and he's like, "Okay, let me show you something. How many fingers am I holding up?" And or he says, "How many fingers do you see?" And Patch Adams says, "There are 4 fingers." And he's like, "No, don't look at the problem. Look past the problem. How many fingers do you see?" And he's like struggling. He's like, "No, don't look at the problem. Look at me. If you focus on the problem, you'll never see the solution. Look past the problem." And when he looks past the problem, he sees that there are 8 fingers. With both of his eyes, he can see the reflection of the other fingers. And he says, 8. And he says, 8 is a great answer. 8 shows that there are more possibilities. There are more solutions in the world. And he says that you'll probably see that there's a little bit more to this old man than a grumpy, old, angry person. And he's like, Patch Adams says, what do you see? What do you see when you look at me? And he says, well, you fixed my cup, Patch. And he gives him the nickname Patch. And the next day he goes in and he leaves. He ends up leaving the clinic, and he's like, I found my why. I want to serve people. I want to listen to people. And that's how he finds his why, through those personal experiences. Again, I'm explaining this because that's what I've personally gone through. I've looked and seen, what are my talents? What do I naturally do really well? And then what is my big why? How can I help other people? What is my purpose on this earth? So he finds his why. And then the next step is you got to be a little bit different. When you're the same as everyone else, you don't provide any more value to people. You have to do things differently. Well, he decides that he wants to be a medical doctor, and if he was just going to be a regular old medical doctor, then he wouldn't have the impact that he had on the world. But he decided that he didn't want to be the stereotypical medical doctor. He wanted to be different. And the way that he was different is he focused on improving. He says the purpose of a medical doctor should be to improve the quality of life and not just to delay death. And all the medical doctors are all stale, and they're all just focusing on the numbers, and he focuses on the person, focuses on making them laugh, focuses on getting to know them, on creating connections with people. And all of his patients loved it. But all the medical doctors, they started getting hard feelings by him choosing to be different as a doctor. Well, there comes a point in the movie, and this is a true story. Again, Patch Adams is a real guy, where he has to stand up for his beliefs. And there's a point where he actually ends up going to court because they said that he was practicing medicine without a medical license. He hadn't graduated, and he started up this clinic he started up this ranch and started this clinic where he brought people in. But the whole purpose of the clinic was he wasn't doing surgeries on people. He was helping people by giving them tasks to do to help other people. He was helping them the same way that he was helped out by the professor, right? And so he stands up in the court, and he has all these medical doctors and the whole board of medical professionals there, and he gives this amazing speech and just knocks everybody out of their shoes. And it's so cool. You'll have to look it up. Patch Adams. If you look up Patch Adams court case speech, it will pull up. It's about a 5-minute speech. I can't recite it here, but it is an incredible speech, and he stands up for what he believes in. And at the very end of his speech, they say, "Is that all, Mr. Adams?" And he says, "I hope not, sir." And all of a sudden, the back doors open up, and all the kids that he had been helping out in the hospital all come in, all with their parents. And he looks back at them, and you can see all of them smiling, and they're all supporting him because he really made an impact on their lives when no other doctor was. And it just goes to show the impact that you can have when you find out your talents, then you find out your why, and you're different, and you stand up when other people question those differences. Highly recommend watching Patch Adams. It will change your life. I've seen it many, many times, and it changed my life the very first time that I watch it, and every time that I watch it, I want to be a better person. Go ahead, watch it. Thank you for watching this video.